Hello everyone, I'm Dennis from Boulder Sounds. Let's take a look at Buffalo Drum version 2 4/4 loops. We'll create some unique loops very easily. Use your drop-down menu, go to the back page. This is where all the fun is. Let's play a loop at C. Okay, let's see what that sounds like at 2 times tempo, layered with 1 time tempo. Kind of cool. Let's tune that second tempo down a little bit. Five semitones. And let's just listen to tempo 1 again. And let's add a delay to it. So if I spin this delay knob, that adds my delay convolution, or excuse me, effect. Down here it shows me sync is on with my DAW. I want this more like to an 8th note. And let's see what we get. Of course, that's a totally different rhythm now with the delay, right? So without the delay, and with the delay turned on. And of course, I can change the parameters of the delay down here, have less feedback if I want. Okay, so now with that and tempo 2 together, kind of interesting. Let's use the first convolution. So remember, these edit buttons tell you which tempo you're editing. Right now it's on tempo 2. If I wanted to do tempo 1, I just click on it. I'll go back to tempo 2. Let's use a convolution number 1. Let's see what we get here when we spin this knob. We get down here a special effect category. It's called Crystal Caves, and that sounds like this. Okay, with just tempo 2 by itself, combined with tempo 1 with the delay. Okay, let's see what tempo 3 sounds like just by itself. Kind of interesting, a little bit spastic, but let's see what happens if we use an EQ on that. And let's take the bottom end out, and we'll just bring up the mids a bit and the highs. So that might be interesting for a quick fill, and you can turn those fills on with your key switches in Kontakt. After, while you're doing your sequence. Let's hear that with tempo 1. All 3 tempos. Okay, so for now I'm going to turn off tempo 3. I might use that later. So that's one unique loop, right? So let's go to another one. Let's go F sharp. Again, I'm going to listen to tempo 2 with that. Okay, on tempo 2, let's use a filter. And let's turn off tempo 1 so we can just hear the filter's effect. Let's use AR bandpass 4. Change the cutoff. Peak resonance a little more. Right, and you can assign continuous controllers on your keyboard to control these in real time if you want. I'm going to bring the volume up a little bit of that. Let's hear it with tempo 1. Okay, on tempo 1, let's add convolution number 2. It's a reverse convolution called Tetra. I like that. I can shorten it just a little bit by reducing the size. Maybe put a little pre-delay on it before that IR kicks in. And maybe I'll let some of the, I'll roll off a little bit of the low end. Okay, let's hear that with tempo 2. Kind of interesting. Let's see what tempo 3 sounds like by itself. Interesting. Let's add, let's EQ that. We'll take, we'll boost the middle, drop the bottom out a little bit, a lot. Maybe bring down the volume just a little bit. Let's hear that with tempo 1. Let's hear it with 2. Here's all 3. So I like that. Let's do another note. Let's go to D. So I always check out how tempo 2 sounds against tempo 1 right away. That's just sort of my habit. Okay, so on tempo 1, let's edit that and let's use a transient effect. So I'm going to increase the intensity of the attack. I'm going to decrease the sustain. Okay, so pretty simple. Let's add some distortion to that. Obviously that is too much, so let's stay away from the high gain. Okay, I'm going to pan that to the left. And let's add a convolution to that. Tempo 1, let's use convolution number 3. That is set to a bell sound. Let's see what that sounds like. It's kind of interesting. Let's reduce the size. Okay, let's turn on the other tempos. I'm going to pan it slightly differently. Where did I have that first one panned? Yeah, so I'm going to pan this, excuse me, to the right. I like that. Let's listen to tempo 3. Okay, that one I'm going to pass on for the moment. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do something way up here. So this is, you can see in the display, this is a 4/4 loop, and it uses a brush and a stick hit together. Okay, let's tune that down. Let's use one of those other convolutions. How about convolution number 1 again? Okay, let's go to tempo 2, see what that sounds like. Let's add a filter. How about we use a high-pass filter? Ladder. Let's turn off tempo 1. So you see what that's doing? That's an important tool you can use in these loops. You can just have a part of a frequency of a loop. So if you and just hear maybe the top end, just the kind of hissy top end, and when you eliminate the bottom end or any certain band of the frequency, you actually get the feel of a totally different rhythm. You see, I can filter that all the way out and then increase the gain. Then I might play with the resonance as well. Okay, so let's hear that with 2. I like that. I'm going to bring up the volume of that 2 times tempo a little bit. And let's take a look at tempo 3. I like that just the way it is. I don't really need to do much of anything. So there I did 4 quick loops. Of course, you have all these loops across the keyboard. You can create your own kits. And then, of course, you would save that NKI and give it a unique name, and you have something that is, your own creation. So give me a few minutes. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to put these into Logic, do a real quick sequence, and show you what I come up with. Okay, I'm back. So I noodled with this in Logic for about 15 minutes. It's a fairly simple sequence, but I think it's effective. If you look at the piano roll, you can see I used C3 for 4 bars, and then here I went to the F-sharp 3 loop for 4 bars as well, and then halfway through that, I brought the C3 back in. Then here in bar 11, I went to D4 for 4 bars, and again I brought in F-sharp 3 on top of that halfway through. Then up here, I brought in A5. So I kind of have these 4-bar loops going, and then halfway through I introduce another loop. So let's give it a listen. Pretty fun, no? What is this Kontakt instrument off to the left? It didn't seem to do much of anything. That is my hits instrument. So that's really great for endings. You just need a big hit at the end of a measure. They will sustain forever. And also, one thing about the hit instrument that I neglected to mention in the brief hits video I made is this key up here. It says key map off. So I play a particular hit, and if I hit that button, key map off, and I turn it on, it says key map on. It spreads that sample across the entire keyboard. So that's a real quick way to hear a sample at all different pitches. And it might suit your purposes for all sorts of needs. So there you have it. Have fun with it. Thanks for watching.